As we take a look at the title favorites, Manchester City and Bayern Munich are installed as the co-favorites according to the bookmakers. But Stevie, we have our questions about Manchester City. Everyone's kind of on the Manchester City hype train. They saw the Liverpool performance yesterday, but we know Liverpool were on the beach. We saw City against Chelsea earlier in the week. Do you think they deserve to be co-favorites of the Champions League?
Absolutely, 100%. Listen, Manchester City's only problem, and we all know it, guess what, is at the back. But guess what? Would you put any money on any of the other teams? Maybe Atletico Madrid at a stretch. But is there any other team, including Bayern, that are really that good at the back? The truth is no. And is there a team better than Manchester City going forward? I'm not so sure there is. So they absolutely 100% should be one of the favourites. I think they should be the favourites. Bayern are going to find it tough coming off a break and playing Champions League. So yes, they deserve to be up there, but they should be up there on their own. And it's on merit, because I think they are the best team left.
Jan, I'm thinking back to last week's show. I remember you talk about Bayern Munich like they were the best team in the world. Do you still feel that way? And if so, what's the gap between Munich and City?
I think Stevie makes a good point in terms of they ending the season now. Having said that, they've been playing for a while now, and we know the Germans, they are very well prepared going into any tournament, being the national team, and now for the club team doing the same. Yes, Manchester City are good going forward, but so are Bayern Munich. They got a great balance in the midfield with Kimmich and Goretzka, and at the back there is a revival of Boateng, and people who say that Manuel Neuer is not one of the best goalkeepers in the world, well, they don't watch the German Bundesliga. So I think Bayern need to be up there as a favorite. And also the thing is that the last seasons, Pep Guardiola's team, they've had a problem at the end of the seasons. They have struggling at the end, and also Manchester City got to beat that tradition of winning a tournament like that. And we shouldn't underestimate that. Bayern Munich are used to winning a Champions League as Liverpool were last season, so don't underestimate that thing of a club going in there. And first now, Manchester City got to qualify to get to Lisboa as well.
Speaking of Manchester City and Bayern, the two clubs did some business. Leroy Sane going from City to Bayern Munich. Look, Stevie, he's not the first young player to leave Manchester City for lack of either minutes or opportunity. Do you think they'll end up, the one exception, the notable exception, maybe Phil Foden right now, do you think they'll end up regretting this?
I don't think so. No, clearly he's not happy there. And actually, yes, he's had some injury problems, but when he's been fit, he's been way from being one of the first names on the team sheet. So, listen, it's just a case of it's just not a good fit either way. The guy clearly is talented. The guy clearly wanted to go to Bayern. It wasn't happening at City. They realised that. He did as well. Listen, he goes to Bayern and everybody's happy.
Jan, it's not just Leroy Sané potentially leaving. What about guys like Kun Agüero, Kevin De Bruyne, who have talked about leaving if this UEFA Champions League ban isn't uplifted? We're talking about them as Champions League favorites right now, but if you look ahead to next year, do you think we're maybe at the beginning of the end of the Manchester City we've come to know?
Listen, I've been working with WADA, the global anti-doping agency, and I don't trust the governing bodies of sport. The hearing now at CAS, that could go either way. I'm more likely to see Manchester City in the Champions League next year as well. I think they will keep their team. I think Pep Guardiola will stay on. There are some young kids. I think that Bayern Munich has done a great business with Leroy Sané. I think that Manchester City wanted to keep him, but coming to the end of his contract, it seems like a good idea because the player wanted to go there. And I saw some reports in England saying, where did it all go wrong with Sané at Manchester City? Well, to be fair, he has gone to a much bigger club than Manchester City, so it couldn't go that wrong for Leroy Sané. So I don't think that Manchester City, they will rebuild. They got some money. They got Pep Guardiola. They will be a title contender also next, or also they will be a title contender next year. There wasn't this season.
Stevie, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the Liverpool perspective in all of this. Chelsea's playing well. Manchester United's playing well. Do you still think that City next year will be the greatest threat to Liverpool?
Absolutely, yes. No question. Oh, no question. You know, Manchester United, yes. Listen, let's look at the hard facts. Chelsea, United, they're what, 30 odd points off of Liverpool? That's going to be tough. Can they make up some points? Yes, they can. Can they make up 30 though? I don't think so.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.